Around critical minerals took center stage this morning, where the Minister of Mineral Resources and Petroleum, Gauteng, as well as other stakeholders had a conversation about what exactly is South Africa's strategy when it comes to its own critical minerals. How do we define our own minerals? Which ones are they? Because each and every country has its own strategy. The issue of critical minerals has been a big one here at the 31st of Investing in Africa Mining Indaba in Cape Town, where it is being encouraged that this is the time to really look into these critical minerals, especially for the African continent, to see if we can harness them. Can industries be built upon these critical minerals that we have and are quite endowed with? But what is the role of provinces, and particularly a province as big as Gauteng? What is their role in this talk of critical minerals and the critical minerals strategy, and what can they do to be part of the conversation? I'm joined here by Saki Zamxaka. He is the acting group CEO for Growth, Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, and he will tell us what Gauteng is doing. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. A very important presentation that we had here. It makes you look at the mining industry in South Africa in a little bit of a better light, looking at the things that we do have and actually can leverage on. What can Gauteng do to be part of this conversation?
No, thank you, Liabo. As you say, what was really great about this framework that's been put together is that it puts various variables, about 6 of them, on how you measure what is critical to the country. A lot of those variables are actually economic, where they look at what is good for exports, what's good for employment, what's good for imports, what is it that is needed by the economy for it to survive. And Gauteng, accounting for about 35% of the country's GDP, is the one that needs to say what is critical for its growth into the future. One interesting element, as an example that has come up in the conversation, is energy. Energy, we've seen what energy insecurity means, but now DMR is saying to us, well, as you look at the criticality of these minerals, remember coal not only employs people, but it's in abundance in the country. He's mentioned uranium, where nuclear energy into the future may be important. So when you have these mining companies headquartered in Gauteng, and even banks who are headquartered in Gauteng, and banks saying we want to fund green energy and no longer coal, then the government policy is saying, well, if you're doing that, you are actually going against what is critical for an economy like Gauteng to survive. Then our role gets to be to try and convince banks that we can't look at green at the expense of what is our national interest. And the national interest is that we have security of supply of energy. So this conversation really puts at the heart of it the economy. Of course, with many of these companies headquartered in Gauteng, capital equipment is also largely manufactured in Gauteng because we have a manufacturing base. So wherever the industry is moving, a lot of it is going to actually be driven by what happens in Gauteng.
I know that you and I are quite passionate about entrepreneurship, and I want to get into the opportunities that are there, right, for Gauteng entrepreneurs to get onto the whole critical minerals train, and what Gauteng government can do to facilitate them getting business. What's on your mind?
So definitely a lot of things. The mines generally have their own enterprise and supplier development programs. So we're looking at how we can partner with them to do that, either financing the small businesses into that value chain, but also making the opportunities known. There's many Gauteng-based companies who are here exhibiting, and we're looking at that value chain, whether it's logistics like railways, how do people plug into the railway system, capital equipment, and many of those manufacturing opportunities. So really our support is going to be how do we get these small companies the resources and capital they need for them to grow. But we do that in partnership with the minerals department and also in partnership with the mines.
And just lastly, while I have you here, there's so many side events that are happening, and I just witnessed a photo opportunity with 2 private companies, one Saudi Arabia company, and they're going to be partnering and drilling, I think in Liabo that is. What meetings are you having, and with whom? What are you signing as the Gauteng government?
So there's a lot of meetings we're having. Some of them is like this evening, the India Consul General is hosting an event with a lot of Indian companies who are participating in that to showcase what Gauteng has, opportunities to partner. Yesterday was the European Commission, which also had its own events, and we're looking at how we're going to partner. And then tomorrow we have our own roundtable with the MEC, where in essence we're creating a platform where we say, whoever you are from around the world, what are the things we can do as Gauteng to make the journey not only easier, but also maybe to deal with some of what may be obstacles for them coming in.
Saki, thank you so much. Always lovely to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time. And that's where we'll leave it for now. This is what Gauteng is doing, and it is also part of the conversation here. There are so many conversations that are happening on the sidelines of the main events that you may be accustomed to, but so many other events. I in fact even saw that there's a Christian-based internet radio station that's also here in its capacity as a radio station and its capacity as a business, and maybe hopefully a little later on in the week we'll find out what is their deal here and what brings them here.